Why? Oh boy. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, let me get one thing. I don't know. Point is, I'm excited to see where this case goes. Alright. Instead of the Saturday. Cause that's how it happened. Like, that's just how the cycle ended up going with things. Like, that's genuinely how it happened, is somehow things got flip-flopped around. Wasn't it going to be Persona? Persona is on Saturday. That's just kind of how it be. Persona's tomorrow, at least, so you know what's gonna happen. I think someone just likes Persona. But yeah, otherwise it wasn't anything crazy. Like I said, I think it got switched at one point. It's always been Ace Attorney before Persona. It just depended on what came before it, kind of. If that makes sense. Alright, well, I'm gonna start this. A successful experiment. Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiments a success. Just let's be cute. What in the world? That's not true. Hello. Hello. Oh. Okay, guys. Goodness. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that open Great Bang. But where'd you think they found the victim's body? In the Crystal Tower over there. What? In the tower? Nations have no loss. What in the world? No, Yumi! What do you mean I don't have loss? What in the world is happening? First thing in chat is, let's all do red things, just hopping in to say hi. Well, hello. Hello, thanks for stopping by. I'm just more surprised that he ended up at the tower. So did the guy's experiment actually work? Oh boy. What is happening? Is it just because it's Friday? But yeah, how did the guy go from over... from like the platform over here to over here, unless the machine actually worked? So my only guess is that whatever killed him was over here. Magic. magic in a science festival. Around and I soccer really. I know what you mean. It's fine. Hey, enjoy. I think I played a bit too much Crusader. Oh boy. You can see it for yourself, can't you? Up there on the scaffold.
Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean?
Yeah, the carriage what the victim got in to start Rev really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed him all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? Or, what is it? Is it this? No. What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I'll tell you what. You can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I'd had 3 bob off you, so fair's fair. Materialize again inside the glass? Ouch. I don't know if he materialized in the glass. I'm assuming he was on the other side. That or he maybe smashed through the glass. We don't really know yet. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you. Did I? Sketch of the experiment has been entered in the court record. A diagram showing the relative positions of the crystal tower and Professor Harebrain's machine that exploded. So he landed like here? I would assume here, if he's materializing to go wee. So like around this area. Which, you know, I guess he kind of deserved it since he was part of like a gang that caused problems, I guess. About the investigation. Right, but Gina's changing expressions is great. Yes, it is. It definitely shows how, like, excitable she is and how she can look angry too. Yeah, she's a lot happier now too. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. What's worth anyway? Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
Yes. Oh, Gregson ran off without explaining himself.
Alright, the boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. What? Gina's hat, or are you talking about Iris's hat?
Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? You're not getting it. We're not allowed to investigate either. Why? What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think? Oh, wow, it took them this long to finally get forensics? Oh, but Herlock is a crazy man for using forensics, but now we have a forensics team? This happened like, what, a few days ago? Wow, so Herlock is the crazy man. But oh, they're allowed to investigate the scene and be considered important enough. Over Scotland Yard, I see favoritism in my vision over here. Which hat looks ridiculous in your opinion? Well, I was assuming you were talking about Iris's, but obviously she has like a... what's the word? Pigtails? Drills? I don't know what to call these. Hoops? So they have to fit in a hat somewhere, unless she has to take off all of the hairbands and things, so it makes sense. I'm not saying it's the greatest hat, but you know, I think Iris is just adorable, so she can do what she wants. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. A bit funny, ain't it? Yes, it is. So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before. Thought I could have a gander on the quiet, though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it. Well, yeah, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. Oh, are you saying poor Gregson's chips make him grumpy? You say something to him, Otto. Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is?
We can try, can't we, Runa? Grexy will listen to us.
I think he'd be grumpier without the chips. I'm pretty sure as well. But how does it make him more... So he's grumpy with or without them? But yes, she looks like Mickey Mouse. Which, why is this popping out of her hat? This is just for the curls on top. What was it again?
Grexy will listen to us.
Oh, I might as well show, because I saw this thing on the ground and I thought it was weird.
Oh, it looks as though somebody's dropped something behind the tree there.
Dropped or hid? What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded?
Maybe. Could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps.
That's a far fall, man. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this, just in case. Mysterious contraption has been entered into the court record. A very curious device found behind a tree under the experimentation stage at the examination grounds, almost as if it has been hidden there deliberately. This is hidden? This is hidden. Okay. I'll just take your word for it and move on. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up. Yes. I was like, hidden? Where?
About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said.
I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan. You don't walk on your feet, Ryunosuke? I didn't know that's what you did.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's about 9 meters.
Metrics. Excuse me. Metrics.
But soon
Goodness.
But soon you have been in London a year, Runo. It's time you get used to our measurements.
Yes, it was a bad pun, but it worked. Yes, well, this thing is so tall, the spectators at the front would have just seen a wall and nothing else.
They probably thought they'd secure the best spots to watch from, only to be disappointed.
There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Away we go! 22nd of October, the Great Exhibition Grounds experimentation stage. It's still making sparks. That's not safe. People... Okay. I think you... Wow. Yeah, that is just as bad as a pun that I made. Holy moly. So that's it? Is it? The machine that blew up?
Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. And I've seen my fair share.
Iris, you're 10. Golly, how many explosions have you seen in your life? You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. Why is he doing chemistry in his apartment? Is there no safety? He just does it in the frickin' apartment. Golly, Herlock.
One time he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building.
And he still has house ownership? What is the London officials doing? They're just like, oh, that's just Herlock. He can't do any harm. Probably was just a fluke.
I wish you'd been there to see it, Bruno.
Why are you happy about this? It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Hey, a guy doing biology experience in his apartment lab has discovered penicillin. Well, good for him, but you understand why I am apprehensive about it. He is sharing an apartment with a 10-year-old who also does experiments, so there's chemicals all over this gosh darn place. Enough to blow the roof off of the building. Do you see why I mean it would be nice to be in a proper facility for these things? Oh look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something. Whilst eyeing up the machine carefully, full with the gas and accidents. I guess so. Maybe. I guess that would make sense, but, you know, a roof, you know, exploding off the top would be kind of important.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Oh, this music. Where to start? It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently and mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air? Oh boy. So the point is Herlock and Iris are lucky to be alive. I guess I should be thankful that Herlock knows how to use chemistry? Well?
Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point.
Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? The Inspector is hurting from looking up so much. Well, it's like, who knows, it's probably, yeah, his neck probably will hurt, but he'll probably look down like, he's probably done this more often, so he's probably like, oh, my neck gets a change of pace, I can actually look, like, up. Like, you know, I get to look up instead of, like, breaking my neck looking at the floor.
Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know?
Has a degree in medicine and knows about science. How should I know? I'm just child. I'm just 10 years old. What do you mean? A child when it suits you, you mean?
From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this...
Stop! Don't touch that!
That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Grexy.
Oh boy. Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here.
Oh, so sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
Hello, hello. You just came in time for, Detective Gregson to get, pulled around by Iris again. Drink my own tea. Wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Huh, listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted special dispensation. Dispensation? I'm gonna go with that. It's that blasted special oh my gosh, I can't do it in this voice. It's that blasted special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. Oh yeah, it's that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Surely that's all right, isn't it, Grexy?
Right? Gregson? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship, but please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? Iris for the win!
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, wouldn't we, Bruno?
She really knows how to get what she wants. Oh, government policy. Using his high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body. And then beam him across the crystal tower. It's an extraordinary thing to assemble. Or to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far the most unusual of experiments planned for this exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. That beam technology, to be honest. I wouldn't blame them. Because at the festival, this is probably a great way to get investors and people to buy your stuff. Since the equivalent of most of the world is here at this festival, the government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringement. I think the government might need to rethink their tactics a little bit. I'd have kept the technology secret to use in the military. Well, I'm assuming that because well, the guy is from Germany, so it's not like they have control over his actions as much. Let me just shimmy. That's fine. So my guess is that this is the only way they could see it in public, and maybe try to get a deal up from him. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see? Yes, I suppose that's true in a way. So the powers that be are, oh my goodness. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on science rights at the moment. So American says that about German scientists, but let's get political. Huh? Maybe that just gets over... What did I say? I was just saying it's a genuine thing, and I think that's why the British government probably invited him to the festival so that they could make a deal with him. That's just my guess. I don't know how this works.
What sort of rights?
Golly. They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right there, they're developing it into practical idea, and even going into production. I was like, what did I do? I did nothing. I just said what I thought the fact was. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because this new highly following special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Okay, I'm like, what did I do? I did nothing. I just said a genuine statement. I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are some brand new department at the Yard. Oh, so it is part of the Scotland Yard. Wow, they work fast. The Forensics Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensics Investigation Team? Why is it taking the forensics team to get here so long, man? They should be on the scene right now. Says if they're the only ones who can touch all this stuff, they should be here. Any old fool could see that this is a heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it.
Poor Gregsy. He's very...
Het up?
Isn't he?
That's a word. Special oh my goodness. This word. Fine, I will open up this spin. Friends who should arrive before those inspectors for sure. It's like, what in the world are they doing?
Dispensation.
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 Dispensation. Okay. Thank you. Special dispensation. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Are you having at me, son? Oh my goodness. Are you having me at it, Sunshine? It's a special disposition for Scientific Equipment Act.
Yes, I think Harley mentioned that recently, with a real twinkle in his eyes, I remember.
Well, of course he's gonna be happy about it, because he's gonna have all these ideas and be like, they're mine, do not steal, they're mine. I can see it. Sure he did, your ladyship, I'm sure he did. Passed especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, that guarantees of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What did that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of clobbers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Excuse you? What do you mean? What do you mean, shammers? He's a lawyer. He's not a scientist. Thanks for that.
Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun.
Might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, huh? Hang science, that's what I say.
Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. Well, would you rather there not be protected and something happened? We seeing... She's been noted, oh my goodness. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas, if any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a search grant. See? I was right. I was right. Huzzah! The scientists get funded? Funding? Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, huh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science, hang it. Great. Because it wouldn't be as immaculate and shocking. Man moves through the air to another location. You know, like a magic show.
Oh, maybe I can see your point.
Professor Harebrain. Apparently Professor Harebrain lives and works in Germany now conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain specifically for the Great Exhibition, as I understand. Now we have Tetherarians? Yeah, but if it works, then he'll be known in infamy. You have to think about it. Also, the man who was put in the machine was also the sponsor. So, you know, sponsors holding the money, he probably was like, I have to be the one to demonstrate it. No one else can do it. It was probably part of the contract, if I had to guess. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. It turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zeeks. Huh? What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zeeks mans the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is... sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another? But I've won... What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 cases against him? So what do you mean? I think it don't work. Well, I mean, that man's beyond me. I don't know what's going on in that head of his. Oh, yeah, want to see something cool? I forgot to mention this because this blew my mind. Let me save. I need to show this because this problem says the invention is forever taken for having that is true. You are right. Want to see something really cool that I found? I just saved. I found it when I was randomly getting stuff for thumbnails. Look at this.
Objection! Hold it! I'm sure everyone knows by now who it is.
Like, look at that! Ain't that cool?
Your testimony completely contradicts the facts. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes, there's a clear inconsistency here.
Look at it!
I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
Look at it!
Hold it! Susato Mikotoba, judicial assistant to the defense.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Yes, I fully understand. It really is a dream come true. We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san. by ourselves if we have to.
And do you love like the little sprites doing the movements? So her hands going, yeah.
Prepare for a Susato takedown! Hiya!
Yeah, I love it. Are you ready for Herlock? This is Herlock. Are you ready?
Objection! Now, let us engage in the art of deduction. Mr. Naruhodo.
It's cool.
So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
He said Shlomes.
So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present
He says
his
Shlomes.
logic and reasoning spectacular.
I'm right. I've said his name right. Haha.
It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close. Yes, my mind is quite made up now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me. So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
Did you hear it now? It sounds very close. Might be slightly different intonations, but it sounds the same.
So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
Do you hear it? It sounds similar to how I say it. It sounds freaking gosh darn the same. Holy moly.
Objection! It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson.
It sounds the same when I say Shlomes. But that's just me.
The tea's brewed, and I have some freshly baked biscuits as well.
She has a very thick British accent.
Look! I used this! It's my latest invention! Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular.
Wow. I hear it.
Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world.
Objection!
But yes, we get to hear Kazuma. And guess who the last one is? I think you can all guess who the last one is.
I have faith in you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, as a lawyer and as a friend. I'm determined to bring about change in our legal system.
His quite close shirt.
A Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I don't...
This blade shows me where I need to go and cuts down anything that's in my way.
Why didn't they put these in the thing? I would have loved it.
Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest.
Do you love that his bandana is still going in the wind? But yes, the last one is, are you guys ready for Van Zeek's? I was like, yeah, it fits, don't it?
Objection! The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you're a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago. A mere amateur.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage! The prosecution refuses to accept this decision!
The voice fits so well.
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Holmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such.
That was beautiful.
The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed.
It's so good. Why didn't they use these lines in the freaking thing? I would have loved it. Like, they don't have to have the whole thing be completely voice acted. I would have loved it. Holy moly. Obviously, we get to hear the objection and hold it, and, you know. So we do get to hear things. I just wanted to show that, because I found that. So there was a rare treat that I found. It was like, oh my god, it's so cool. Talks of Van Zeeks. This morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper's completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
But yes, I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. The voice acting, impeccable. Beautiful. I think that Herlock, Iris, and Van Zieks fit the best. Probably Van Zieks the most. Is my favorite. Because it's like, it fits. I can see that being his voice. Agree. Yeah, right. Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? Alright, hang on 1 second. Alright, I'm back. But yes, that was a rare treat that I was like, oh, that's so good. I love it. Yeah, so I wanted, Oh. Oh boy. Alright. We'll see what, Grandpup over here decides to do. The Mystery of the Reaper. The victim of this case, the investor Mr. Asman, he was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Brock Van Zieks is a top-class prosecutor. But even he can't always push the right verdict, though. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about the jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. Is it the same freaking, like, 10 people that we've seen so far in the jurors? Because, golly, we've seen the same freaking people. I've seen this doctor, like, 3 times now. Maybe 4 times. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I might as well meet him for frickin' tea, since I know this juror number 6 all the time now. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zieks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusions we've reached is that Lord Van Zieks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. Which, hey, he was proven that he didn't do it. So, who is doing it? There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't have just coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. I think Van Zieks has a stalker. At least that's my guess. I think that's an accurate guess, is he has a stalker. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zieks was totally a different person. Easygoing and kind. You what? He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? By the way, seeing Van Zieks smile, like, naturally be happy and kind, seems like a very weird trait. A vigilante? That's my guess. Because if he's not doing anything, like, if Van Zieks is not the one causing these deaths, someone has to be. They can't all be accidents. So someone is trying to do justice in their own hands and follows Van Zieks around. Because Van Zieks is, you know, criminals apparently thinks, oh, I can just go right up to him and try to stab him with the sword. That won't go horribly wrong for our military-based family. No clue. Really? Okay, hang on one second. That person was... Yeah, that's what I mean. Anyway, hang on 1 second again. Which, by the way, for Van Zeeks to be so, like, nonchalant about this really tells you how often he gets attacked by people. Being like, it's your fault, we blame you. It's like, he just did his job. He didn't even go after you. He just did his job in court. And you got mad at him. Look, I've got my hands full watching over all this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, huh? Okay. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Touching anything and I'll make sure I'll kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear? I won't touch a thing, I promise. So, please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims? Yes, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all of this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because of that annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly, the annoying, obstructive, flaming rules. Oh, look at the base of the machine there.
Oh, yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It looks like an A. It's a screwdriver, I think.
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A.
Is it? Oh yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Yes, I understand, sorry. I only touched it a teeny bit.
But Grexy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really, very, very curious.
Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting things like this. The tone change is immaculate. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
But Runo found it first.
I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it.
That was very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
Wow, she really is blackmailing the poor man. Poor Gregsy. Okay, anything... Oh, I can look up. That's new. Yeah, this thing is freaking huge. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the crystal tower. Much power for a child. Yes, she does. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going.
I don't think that thing was supposed to shoot anything, Runo. It was set up to beam people to the crystal tower where they'd be reconstructed in their original form.
Well, I don't like the look of it. It was such an amazing... If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course.
I suppose that's true, yes.
But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? That or someone sabotaged it. My bets is someone sabotaged the Scotch Drawn thing. Oh, how'd you come back? Imagine the bean biting up the soul. That oh, what do you mean that'd be funny? Hello. You missed listening to the voice-overs. I found there's voice acting in the game, like, that I can listen to. From 5 the characters, yeah. There's all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time.
Oh, in your country, Runa? I do wish I could go and see it. I presented particularly stealing samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written especially. And see if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some Birdsu Master Ninjas.
Do you think ninjas are just wallowing around all the shit? You're the nephew, aren't you? Van Zeek says a lawyer. You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think.
Oh, well, that's dull.
Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Chog Mage top knot I could introduce you to. Very stylish man. Me, yes, I'm talking to you.
A Chung Mage? Really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him? Do you?
Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago, yes. Yes, hello. What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel.
Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside the little cabins you can see.
Why? Because.
They rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still.
Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour.
What's that? No. Oh. No. Huh? What? A nipple? Ask your uncle. If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think? No, I don't think it would be.
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Runa.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else here. We're good. I guess we'll go... How do I leave? Because I'm at the stage. How do I leave? As a detective, what do you make of this? Personally speaking, 9 times out of 10 I find clues turn out to be red herrings. So there's every chance that's totally irrelevant. That's actually a fairly persuasive argument. Yeah, the most normal argument I've seen yet. He's just standing menacingly at his desk. I'm sorry, it's so funny. Yes, hi, Van Zeeks. How you doing, buddy? I'm going this way. He's still on... Oh, he's gone! The apprentice is gone! That fencer pose, careful. I'll be careful. I just can't... I'm over here, so I think we're fine. Lord Van Zeeks.
think he's ignoring you, Runa.
The prosecution and defense should avoid speaking outside of the courtroom as a rule. So if anyone is being rude here, it's most certainly the man in black that's there standing before us. Wake up in his bed. Well, he must be tired. I don't know. Keep trying to wake him up, I guess.
Oh, I see. Thank you for setting the record straight. Did you see that? He spoke to me, Runa.
Oh yeah, she admires him, doesn't she? So, Lord Van Zeeks, have you managed to visit the Great Exhibition yet? I think that's a no. Don't do that.
He's definitely ignoring you.
Right. No nice ties either, then. Okay, bye. Does this take me still to the top stage? Nope, it takes me back down here. I don't know how to get back down from there. Water. I don't use water. That won't end well for you. Let's examine over here. Crystal Tower certainly has an apt name. It's built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. Can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan.
There's lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum.
How is there a zoo in here?
But I heard you have to be cute for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at least at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment might well be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
It was more of a joke. I think the whole point of the joke was that, you know, to pour water on your uncle, but not actually do that. Suddenly it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Tower.
Apparently everyone's taking to the skies now to look down at the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people. No, just means that's the other thing to do, so might as well wait. Water wake people? It can wake people. It don't make people typically happy. That's where the cove ended up after his instant kinesis, or whatever they call it, dead of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success?
What's the wooden scaffold there for?
Coppers, our lads set up that after the incident happened. To get the body down, I mean. Don't know really. Oh no.
So he really did get in the... Did he really get stuck here?
Because now that I think about it, did the guy really get stuck in the glass? Like Paul said? Since you wouldn't need, you could just go inside. So was he stuck up here? Oh boy. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold though? Lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mine, Gregson doesn't hear you say that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Oh no. Well, I don't really have other... I don't know, is there somewhere I have to go? I guess we'll go back here? Okay, he's out for questioning. Maybe the floor? Do I look at the floor? Like, yeah, okay. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno.
Just see a fire. Oh, it's just a fire. Walks along, doesn't care. Golly. What in the world? Ryunosuke, your thoughts or something. Can't talk to them. I've checked everything here. So this lets me go back up. I guess we'll check back up. So checked everything here. Won't let me check the boxes. I've checked this whole area. Chairs. This whole thing. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. And this is just the whole thing. I guess we'll check the air balloon, but I don't think that's gonna do anything for me. So these people are, these are people carrying balloons, dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. But I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful, floating Tamari handballs.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Runo, please.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee that the thing won't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared.
Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground as long as it doesn't explode.
Thanks for the logic, Herlock. Yes, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. Just a little. How about this? Do you have anything to say about this? Inspector, have you read this paper? Yeah, two unwelcome blasts back to back, this one at the exhibition and the Reaper getting attacked. I know, terrible news to wake up to, wasn't it? Tried to pretend I hadn't read it and turned over for another 40 winks. Thanks to that, I was late up and got a roasting from the super. Some mornings are like that, aren't they? Okay, so nothing there. Anything new in conversation? Nope. Alright. How do I leave this location? There's gotta be a way to leave. Is there a go? There's no go back button. Guess we'll go here again and bother him so I can move. Yeah, sorry, it's the only way I can segue to where I need to go, buddy. Gina, would you take a look at that? Oh, where did it go?
Looking for this, Odo?
When did you do that?
What have you got anything else to show me?
What you working? Give that back first, please. Okay, so that's a no. I guess we'll go back to home to Herlock. Nope, he's not here. Where do I go? I guess that... Oh, this looks like a crossbow. Now that I'm looking at it. Why was there a crossbow in the ground? Huh. Nothing is showing up, though. That's an... Yeah, why is there a crossbow? Is that how the guy died? Just all of a sudden, I didn't know what... I thought it was something that fell from the tower. Apparently not. Yeah, that's just the balloons again. Oh, I don't know where to go from here right now. Because I don't think I can tell... Wait. Is the screwdriver a bolt? It's possible. Because he won't talk to me. Our client's in questioning. He's not there. Herlock's not there. I just love that he's standing so far away. No, that's not different from the rest of the exhibit, okay. It's definitely a possibility. My guess is that someone messed with the machine on purpose. No, this doesn't work. Told him that it was a good idea. Oh my gosh, did he actually... What? He did it? I didn't tell him to do that. I told him not to. Why? He said, okay. Even Leo popped in to say, don't do it. I can't believe it. Wow. I did not think that would actually happen. Well, good morning. Still don't know what I'm doing. What am I on? Case 3? I think this is case 3. The voice of... Oh, no. This is episode 3. Oh my god. Revenge. What the frick? He was allowed to sleep. Golly, let the poor guy sleep. Episode 3. Okay, it's episode 3. Since when was that a thing? It was never a thing. I don't even know why. For a minute, we thought it was you. And then it was like, oh, hello. And then he appeared. And then someone in chat said something. And then someone said not to do it. Multiple people said not to do it. Two? Oh, I read all that. What? I did! Look at... this game. I don't even remember who did it first. I'd have to literally scroll back to even double check. Ah. I'm with the mattress. Hello. Oh, is it a frickin' that's so stupid. That's a separate thing.
Oh, look! What's this? A dripped piece of cloth!
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable.
It's canvas, I think. What sort of rubber back? With some sort of rubber backing.
Well, I'm sorry that you got a cold awakening. I'm assuming the nephew is going to be dealing with a stone talking to, that's for sure.
And the ends appear to be a bit charred as well.
Maybe that means it has something to do with the explosion?
Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn.
The piece of green cloth has been entered in the court record. A torn piece of canvas-like material backed with rubber that was found under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. There are scorch marks at the edges. It's fine. Nothing's wrong with being tired. Golly. Don't worry. It's not a... I've not made it a big deal. What did I even miss anyway? Well, here I can show you real quick. Might as well, since you got an interesting awakening. I'll just show you myself. I got to show all the voices. I'll do it like, I'll do one voice thing. That's the wrong thing.
Objection!
Hold it! Objection! So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
The tea's brewed, and I have some freshly baked biscuits as well.
I have faith in you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And then...
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes.
There you
A
go.
god of detection or some such.
Isn't it beautiful?
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
I love it.
The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
Isn't it beautiful? It fits, but I didn't expect that voice on him. Whose voice? Van Zeke's? I think it fits so well.
Bruno, listen!
What? What is it?
I've been thinking. Hurley might know something. Might he?
The poses. Expected it to be a bit deeper. For me, it fits perfectly. I didn't expect it to be a deep voice. But I could see where someone would be like, oh, the voice could be deeper. But yeah, the voice act the whole game. I wouldn't have mind moments of voice acting. The whole game doesn't have to be voice acted. For me. Like, you have the animated cutscenes. I would love these lines that were actually said in the game to be put in the game instead of in the side. But that's just me. About what?
About Mr. Reaper.
About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Slomes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he?
Here, this is what you need.
What's this, some kind of entry ticket? Madam Tuspels? Is this supposed to mean something to me? Was he huh? What do you mean? Make a Dungarden where only the trial is voiced? Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, if they did like... Yeah, if they did it like Danganronpa where the thing is voiced during like the trial, that'd be cool. Well, they told him to not multiple times. Just gonna say, the military changes a man. Oh, you're talking about Van Zeeks. Yeah, that's possible. He was betrayed by a friend, that's all we know.
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you'd like.
No, we don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What? At this popular London attraction?
Yes.
How is it that you know where he is?
Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Bruno.
Is it an adult club? Madame Tuspels? I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened, and when they happen, Mr. Sloane's is usually at the heart of them. Yes, he is. Alright, away we go. He's gonna get a museum of interesting waxworks exhibits not far from Baker Street. It's become a very popular attraction in London. Okay, it's a wax museum? Interesting. Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxworks. Oh. Wow. Less recalling for ending C. Oh boy. What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. But why are they all people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight.
They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. It's kind of creepy. I will say, I'm pretty sure this is a real person. I'm pretty sure this is probably a real person, if I had to guess.
What do you think, Bruno? Shocked?
Wax models? Oh! It could be Herlock in disguise again. That is also a possibility. I read about dead bodies and wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called a adiposer?
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Bruno. You're scaring me. Anyway, adiposer doesn't form readily, you know?
Something...
It's only a very specific... What now?
I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe it? Just look at them. Sleep wax, personally? I don't even know what that is.
Oh! There's no way anybody can make models of people that are this real.
Excuse me, there's no way anybody could make models of these people that are this realistic, you know, except for, you know, that one. Great acting with the stutters, thank you. Or was it Grace? Huh. Oh boy. And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait.
What is it?
Oh no. I must be seeing things. What the? Excuse me? Hello? Is that an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of those waxworks models has fallen over.
You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? Or Wax, now I'm conflicted. I think it's him. I would assume it's him.
Bruno, stop scaring me.
Is it a wax arm or a real one?
Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection. We're just gonna leave it here? That big heavy curtain is in a very prominent position, isn't it? I have a nasty feeling there's gonna be something truly terrifying behind it.
Oh yes, that's the famous Tuspel's special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look?
Pay more money to be even more terrified? Oh, let me think about that for a moment. Wow, Ryunosuke was like, just shut that down so fast. Nope.
It was only a suggestion.
Oh boy. Yep, it's him. The great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really? It just looked at you. If that was a statue, I think you should be worried.
Well, he's world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know. But look, Bruno, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle.
You can't go around kicking the... Yeah, that's the real one. He's going... Ow. You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure. And not just a little bit either. Oh, that was so funny. He's blinking and moving his eyeballs.
Really? Did it?
And look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Oh boy. Are we just gonna be in silence? Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
Hold it!
Oh, there he is. My dear fellow, I take your exception to your recoiling in such a manner as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. And see what reaction I'll make. Probably similar to what he did when Iris kicked him in the leg. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruto. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick, could you have not exercised a little more restraint? You winded me. Yeah, it felt personal, didn't it?
But Bruno had something he needs to ask you.
Question? Well, then just do it in your Discord if it's Elden Ring talk. Goodness. To keep chat on topic.
And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have been turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
He could know something, it's true, about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck. I suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. Most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter of which you've come to me now. But how could it be? Is it really strong or her luck is very fragile? Well, she probably has, like, metal boots. And she just, like, hit it really hard. Because she didn't know it was him, so she purposely hit super, super hard. We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. For now I must return to my work. What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? So this is what you've been doing? Madame Tuspels. What is this place? Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it enjoyed great popularity in London. So painful. Yeah, that's why I'm saying he probably was in immense pain because of it. Just kicked him in the knee. That really hurts. That is also true. There are museums like this in Japan. Excuse me, there are museums like this in Japan too. But these displays are really something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks for victims of the guillotine. Good for them, I think? That sounds grim. What was he even doing there in the first place? This is his temporary job as a temporary wax model. I think until the piece gets finished, that it's probably going to look like him. He's standing there for the display. If I had to guess. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expression of the faces of the condemned.
Apparently, sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions.
What the frick? This family's crazy. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Tuspels family. Whether there any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by some quite margin is the House of Horrors. A house of horrors? Of course, visitors' numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Wow, London is making a commodity out of their most horrible killers and criminals. Great. Mr. Van Zeek's family is absolutely nuts. Yes, I think that is agreed. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So, hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he? Temporary waxwork. What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Slums? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare them. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Slomes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money. He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, as I have the ravenous Iris to consider.
Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry.
What the frick? If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruto. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruto, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? Something to ask you. That was loud, sorry. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me, then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust? As well as you would expect. And so I filled Mr. Slomes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Harebrain, about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Mr. Lord Van Zeek such a different person.
I was sure that you'd know, Hurley.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, something that was afoot, and that you believe it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Are you saying that Lord Van Zeek's friend that was a Japanese man committed a crime here? That's been committed a crime in London and is being put on one of the exhibits? That's my guess. Mr. Slomes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the unavoidable. Who says greetings? Okay, if she's supposed to not be a witch, it feels very much like we're trying to make her look like a witch, but she's not actually a witch. Hello, where did she come from? And what's she wearing? Does she look any more mysterious?
I hope you're appreciating my museum.
Sorry, have we met? Mr. Slomes, do you know this? Not again.
My apologies, I'm Esmeralda Two Spells. This is my museum of waxwork.
What? You're the Madame Two Spells?
Monsieur, though only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I'm a madam in name only. It has a certain je ne sais quoi.
Right.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Rather, one waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Slomes, then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle.
What the frick? A French witch. She reminds me of someone from, but I can't put my finger on it. Huh. She's got... Do you see what she has?
Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there'll be toil and trouble. She sounds deadly serious.
That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Slomes about Lord Van Zeeks now? Good luck, her luck.
Let's not forget what Hurley said before. about something being afoot right here in the museum. I mean,
Yes, I know, but
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
haven't we got enough on our plate already? Hello. The waxworks. Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tusselspells?
I did. I'm the third generation of waxwork artisans. You know. Gosh. It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. For her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Now that is when she acquired the savior
Savar? What in... Savar Fair? I think that's what that means. I don't think I've seen this word before.
that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive.
But feel it. Oh boy. Yeah, Herlock should be very careful.
In fact, they look more alive than Hurley.
Excuse me, sorry.
What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All those waxworks were created in the presence of real people on which they are modeled.
What? So, you were in the room of these criminals and made the wax statues?
In the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness.
Ah, so it was true. That's not horrifying at all. That sounds terrifying.
All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade per excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
Do not fear.
Sorry?
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for everyone, every taste, I suppose.
It was Iris who dragged me straight here. Come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things.
You think? The great detective waxwork. What's the situation with that?
My temporary waxwork model? He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. Ah.
Or words to that effect. Naturally, I'm well aware that Mr. Sloanes is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Yes, the creme de la creme, as I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms.
Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an extraordinary price for his services? For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. You're insane, Sloanes. Golly, man. Holy moly. Yeah, mirror. Yep.
Or words to that effect.
Mr. Sloanes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably,
The museum has a shortage of funds at the moment, due to unforeseen circumstances. Why would you do it for... My gosh, why would you do it for... You just like Tusa spells, don't you? So we came to the current arrangement instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning. Or words to that effect.
It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Oh my gosh. She's pretty? Uh-huh, I see. Anyway, what the frick else did you put in there? Okay, Herlock. You need it. If you don't have the money, you don't put it in the pawnbrokery. Never church of wishes, beauty. Yeah, that's how you end up as a frog. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Something afoot. I wonder, could I ask you something? Bien sûr. I'm just curious, is something going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was... your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me Oh, he disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Which is our... Well, I guess that's the other thing. Oh, there it is. There it is. There you are.
Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down?
My dear Madam, Tusa spells, save your reprimands. There are much more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Why ever not?
She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. He is so dumb. Though, please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance. I have to do... Oh my god.
Very well.
You took that deal?
Let's see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is the Tussle Spells special exhibit. There's an extra charge to see it.
Yes, he seems more desperate. Like I said, what the frick did he put in there? At the pawnbrokery? What did he do now? Ah, the special exhibition in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind to draw back the curtain, I wonder? I don't think so. If he did, he would be stupid. It might be something else. Who knows?
Absolutely not. There's nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madam. What about the arm protruding ominously? Golly. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a soupcon?
I guess just a little bit? Or just for a bit? Oh! I must confess I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Tusa Spell's special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yes, somewhat surprisingly, C is pronounced like an S. Soupçon? 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 It sounds like saying soupçon. Huh. And yes, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however... I've seen you before, though. I forget where I've seen this guy. Was he one of the, jury members? Yes, that's it. Okay. I was gonna be like, the C has a weird thing on it, so it might not be a C, but I have no idea what that could be. Is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor? Well then perhaps Mr. Sloane's. That man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this great exhibit. Why? Why would you say that? If you ever want to learn some French, I managed for a mere 500 Victorian pounds. Wow. Are you taking Herlock's thing here? Golly. And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. She looks as pale as a candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Tusa Spells, as you've agreed to my fee... It worked in the end. On his side, yes. Because if what he's saying is actually true, her getting involved with the police would put her in big trouble. And I don't know if I have Victorian pounds on me, nor do I know where to find any. Unless you go into a museum. You shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Oh, it begins the great deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Waxworks fate. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. I forgot time was linear for mortals. Yes it is. In my estimate, some 200 pounds. That's all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast. It would seem Madame Tusa Spells? Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by the public notice. Waxwork for sale? Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer the centerpiece of your special exhibit for the sum of 200 pounds. None! Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is this portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Mademoiselle Tusa Spells, technically. Yes, it would be. But I don't know if I could do Mademoiselle multiple times in Herlock's voice. I could probably try once. You know what's going on, Mademoiselle Tusa Spells? Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. dealt the man such a shocking blow, of course. The 200 pounds. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for a sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what extraordinary amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock.
But why would he be in the thing this way?
If that's what happened, that seems so strange. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that this gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
Conclusion. Sold for cash.
Waxwork. Location. She just drew the curtain on them. Yeah. Just kept it there. The question that arises then is, what has become of the waxwork that has changed hands? Let's consider the problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. I'm assuming it's the one behind me that is, like, slightly over off screen. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe. Statues available, please inquire. Huh. His handkerchief. Such a is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact as if he were a waxwork.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Now, I'm assuming the guy just didn't take off the stupid price tag on his scarf.
Threepence?
Threepence? A tragically low price, you may say. Though perhaps that's the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yes, you sold it to the portly gentleman for an extraordinary 200 pounds. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam?
I do not...
Yeah, I believe he is just asleep. I also believe that, too. Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. Discovered already. Okay, can we all agree that that was the most ridiculous one so far from Herlock? And poo. Whoops, sorry. The other thing, we're already dealing with an alleged murder at the Great Exhibition, plus Van Ziek's being attacked, so, you know. Thus concludes Herlock Shalom's great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Oh boy, how did Sloanes get anything done before we came along? Who knows? Oh, he probably had Wilson with him. That's what my guess is that Iris's father kept him in line. You know? That would make sense, since he was the logical one. I see, I've stunned you all into silence. Yes, but not in the way that you would think. You poor, poor soul.
You have, Hurley, you have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Slomes. Ah, the notorious Naruto 1 point. Well, here's my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman. Ottermole. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out to be the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole.
That is a name. So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there's supposed to be? With a tag for Ruppens? What a frickin' price. Indeed, it is particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? Could be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective. So, it's quite a lot, then.
Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down?
That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
Oh, the smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Slomes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions. Says the guy that asked for 500 pounds. Yeah.
Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we?
Before Madame Tussauds vents her anger.
Just what I wanted to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tussauds, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Slomes. I can't believe it just feels so far off the mark. I do wonder, why do you have 200 pounds in your purse just hanging out of your pocket? That seems weird. For someone who's on hard times, that is weird. You stealing from a witch is stupid. Yes, it is. That is just a one-way ticket to have being cursed. He definitely looks in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Or above the wax? If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would, but it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it.
Okay, move me over to then... the portly man. Hang on one second, I just noticed something. There we go. It seems this well-dressed gentleman is alive after all, just not alive and kicking. And he's not a waxwork or a model of a mass murder.
Wouldn't you pay 200 pounds for him?
I don't think the man's up for sale.
Well, anyway, it was a silly place to put him. Other museum visitors could easily trip.
I don't think the man was put there on purpose either. Okay, so these are the... Oh! Note on the wall.
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tusslespouse, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. So someone stole her wax statue and wants 200 pounds for his return. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd of October.
What?
This is... It's just like that sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly. It was a wax snapping. Yes, it was.
Take that!
Okay, let me... not that. Hang on, Naruto. Give me a second. Let me go back. Before you start talking. Okay. Oh, by the way, there's the mouse, by the way. Isn't the mouse adorable? I'll go right here for now. The significance of 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee. That's a adorable small run. That's not what I'm comparing. I'm just saying it's cute, ain't it? For an Ace Attorney character? It's very cute.
The model in question has some special importance. So I put together all the money I have.
Oh, by the way, there she is. In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your bag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. That's all. I just wanted to say it is cute. Oh boy. But why is he unconscious? That is the question. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We could just ask him when he comes around.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. If he's the abductor, then where's the statue? And what did she do to make him go unconscious? If that is the case.
Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That's much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tussauds trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. Does she have her hand behind her? That's weird. Oh, it's a wax hand.
This is just Madame Tussauds' right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is the left hand as well, look.
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean it's made of wax?
Take that!
And then, whoop. Okay, back to this wheel. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a substantial blow. She hit him with a wax hand? Why? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It's ought to be a right hand, but the closer inspection reveals that it is in fact a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. I was gonna just say the skin tone doesn't match. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It is the hand of a waxwork model. Oh!
Some of the visitors to the museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
So you mean that arm?
Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
He tried to take a freaking whole arm from a wax statue as a souvenir? Is he stupid? Oh yes, just give me this random wax statue of a murderer or serial killer's arm, please. Thank you. Walks away with it. You be dumb. You be very dumb. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms.
I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
So you bonked him on the head with the wax arm. Oh boy. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result, the scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. Kidnapped. By the way, I'm assuming wax is as hard as a rock, so that must have frickin' hurt. What did I say? The question that arises then what has become of the waxwork that has chit-chats. Alright. Alright, we're going through his dialogue again. Is that his arm? I don't think it's his arm, right? According to Mr. Slomes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Mr. Slomes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets in any is in any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tussauds reaction to Mr. Slome's seduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Oh, yep, that is his arm. So this is the statue that he... So he tried to take this guy's statues. Look at this poor man's arm. What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Oh, well that settles it then.
Right, this isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been, of course, that ties in with what we just found. So did she put him here to, like, hide him for now?
Take that!
And now I gotta move back over again. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only to observe his shoulder stub. No boneless human walks this earth. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Slomes.
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 leasing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Oh, so it does look like him. Okay, so that is supposed to be John Clay, a police sergeant. Interesting. Naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arms that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. Okay, this is the thing. Well, he has the handkerchief, yellow handkerchief. So, what is he doing here? I'm very confused. A killer policeman called Ottermole. Was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. 3 pence is much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas and Mr. Garib's delightful lodgings, in fact. So, this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds? Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Perhaps we should have a good look around again, see what other idea crops up.
This weird angle, but he just tapped his foot, too. I don't believe it.
It's the secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activity is underway.
Yes, it's slightly strange choice of outfit if he was trying to go unnoticed.
Oh, he must be a detective disguised as a policeman.
Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman.
He doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though.
Perhaps you should try to be a little more polite about him, Iris. Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy.
He seems to be fast asleep, though.
He's not tapping his foot consciously, then? So you mean...
It must be a twitch.
Never mind that. The point is, waxworks don't tap their feet.
Or twitch.
And look at his arm, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? So, I'm assuming the telltale proved whether or not this is... Okay, so... Wouldn't it be this?
Take that!
I'm gonna be like, it's gotta be the twitch, right? The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Wow, he changed his tune really fast when he found out it was a real person. Slightly shifting your choice of adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madam Tusselspels?
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in first place.
He's clearly fatigued.
He's clearly fatigued. He's sound asleep.
But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby recently purchased at a local market. And I presume you observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruto? Let me move slightly over, Golly. Yes, the secret sign used by a detective to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because, as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
So it would seem we finally arrive at the truth. That, the waxwork of a specially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model wearer's belts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction, this horrifying puzzle. I'm very curious what this serial killer looked like then. Does he look like the man that died? By the way, deduction complete. Elementary.
All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly.
Well, they also would break the law. Elementary, I'm sure. Yes, it is.
Anyway... Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
It was a pleasure, my dear madam. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I have no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. Different animations. Oh boy, I think we found Val's favorite character in Ace Attorney. At least currently.
Yes, tragically, it was.
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
Hey, she's a fictional character. It's not like it's gonna be a relationship thing gonna happen. Oh, there we go. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Well, she's paying you, Sherlock, so... The stolen waxworks. Sad before people marry anything. Yeah, that is true. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now, when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed. And I found the ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then?
So this waxwork was stolen, and it was a model for some horrible criminal, I suppose? Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other. I would say, the professor.
Really? He's called the Professor. Not, like Jeff the Kill. you get my point. It could be anything else. Oh my gosh. Anything else? Like Jeff the Reaper? Then Jack the Knife, to be honest. Professor Moriarty. Oh boy. Yeah. Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruto, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry?
The professor case happened around the time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocketed the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time that Van Zieks graduated from university, in fact. Really? What? Surely he's not saying.
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life?
Was the professor. As you've surmised, It was the professor case. Who was the professor, then? The professor.
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
Was he a professor that Van Zieks trusted? Who was a Japanese man? And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zieks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Oh. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Oh, wait, of course. What Professor Harebrained said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood. Did his family die? Like, did one of his parents get killed?
Oh gosh!
It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Clint Van Zieks. Oh no! It was his sibling. Oh no! No! I don't believe it! Van Zieks? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, okay, the young Brooke pursued a career as a prosecutor. Oh my gosh, it's this frickin'... What is with Ace Attorney and people losing their frickin' older siblings? I swear, this is the second one. First we have Maya losing Mia, now we have this. What the frick? The second time. And eventually became the Reaper we know today. So the painting was of the older sibling, it must be. Because they look slightly different. So that must be tough. I guess that painting being there is to remind him of his brother and what he decided to become a prosecutor for. I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. Away he goes. There's a waxwork exhibit.
I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well.
Yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. That it didn't look anything like him. Yeah, because he probably doesn't think that he compares to his brother. You know, that type of thing. But yeah, that makes sense now why he said it the way he did. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh! It's been too long. It really has. I'm delighted to see you, Brooke. It's been 10 years and here we are, meeting in prison of all places.
I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Aspen. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen.
So he does have a soul. Tomorrow the court will decide.
Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assured me he can prove it.
I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I've heard it already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you?
Yes.
Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Brock, are you really...
What?
Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anyone else. Aww! He does appreciate our work ethic. You jerk. Couldn't say it to my face, could ya?
Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Brooke.
Till tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. To be continued. Obviously, we'll get a little bit into the court case. We'll see how it goes from there. But things have been getting interesting. 23rd of October, 8:52 a.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. Yeah, to be continued right now. I can't believe it. It's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. And now here I am, back at the Old Bailey.
Mr. Naruto,
Good morning, Professor Harebrain.
I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. I've never felt anything like it. It's crushing me.
I feel it every time I'm here. That gravity.
Well, this is the Britain's highest court. But are you telling me it's fitted with some kind of device that can actually control air pressure?
No. I think it's probably all in the mind.
Ah, yes. Well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Naruto? I'm counting on you in today's trial to save my life. To save the secrets of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public.
Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. I have to establish that explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident.
Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail.
My commiserations, Mr. Naruto. You appear to have been lumbered with the most tiresome case here? Oh, you. Mr. Slomes, I didn't expect to see you here.
That was very mean, Runo. Leave me alone. Leave me alone at home with Hurley. It took me at least an hour to wake him. Is it... Are you... Sherlock Sholmes?
Indeed, sir. I am he. Sherlock Sholmes.
Oh, I've heard all about your exploits, even whilst living in Germany. Oh, yes. Rancid Magazine is on sale in Germany, too. This one's installment was sublime. Your deduction in the adventure of Silver Blaze was wonderful.
Ah, yes, a memorable case indeed. It concerned a snake, I seem to recall.
No, that was the Speckled Band.
Well, thank you for coming. I do appreciate your support. Sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. He's got to be a wax statue. Oh, I have urgent business at Madame Tussauds. You mean your waxwork job? No, the waxwork abduction, of course. Madame has engaged my services. Ah, so you're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note, are you? The week's wages depend on it, as does the safe return of the waxwork, naturally. As such, I intend to give it to my undivided attention. Oh, well, never mind then. I understand. Of course, with my skills of observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be as easy as proverbial pie. I shall return forthwith. For until I solve the case, I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description. Okay, good luck.
Oh, then you must absolutely give it your full attention, Hurley.
Of Quite, Iris, quite. But life is riddled with irony, you know? Whenever I give something my full attention, I have quite an insatiable desire for pie. One of the universe's untraceable mysteries, you might say.
Yes, quite, definitely, absolutely. I totally understand.
Is someone a little starstruck? I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Harebrain.
What? Thank you.
Before I depart, Mr. Naruto, a word in your ear, if you please. What's this about? As you have remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to inform you. Compelling as this super high voltage instantaneous kinesis hypothesis may be, I can't believe I did that in his voice. Woohoo! Practical implementation, such as such was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible. But the professor said the demonstration was a success. Yes, it would appear that he fervently believed it was.
I've read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, Runo, and I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically.
So he's completely barking up the wrong tree? But how could an experiment that had no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? That's contradictory. I'm assuming this wax statue is the reason. And is that contradictory? That will be the heart of the trial, I have no doubt. What's that supposed to mean? Now, I must hurry along. I wish you the best of luck, my dear fellow.
See you later, Hurley.
Adieu. Interesting.
Well, it looks like you're on your own today, Runo, but you can do it.
Oh, what about you, Iris?
Oh, no, I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do.
I see, so I'm by myself.
It's going to be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is.
That sounds ominous. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Make your way into the courtroom at once. Run away! An experiment that the laws of science can't possibly succeed, and a scientist who's convinced that it did. That's the riddle you have to unlock here, Ryunosuke. That's the key to this case. Oh, by myself. Dun dun dun! 9:10 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, new faces! So they do have more jury members. They just were lazy and didn't re-pick them. I see how it is, Judge.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are sitting today for the public trial of Professor Albert Harebrain. I now call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
There was a bribe, or maybe there really was a bribe involved. Maybe. Prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. I'm 6 months out of practice, and what's more... Aw. I'm without Sato-san today. Oh, he misses her. Oh. Is it just my imagination, or does the air in here feel even more oppressive than usual?
So, I must say I recall the victim of this case all too well, Mr. Odie Osmond.
Mr. Osmond was well known as a financer, though that was merely a front for his diverse criminal activities.
It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Van Zeeks, but the jury unanimously found him not guilty.
Because every member of the jury had been bribed, by the sound of it. These powerful London criminals are prepared to go to extreme lengths to keep their freedom. Well, he didn't have freedom for long.
But 2 days ago, on 21st of October, Mr. Osmond met his end. The work of the Reaper, was it?
If that is how your lordship would describe divine retribution. But the fact remains that Mr. Esmond's death was a dire result of the actions of the accused, Professor Harebrain.
Very well then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people. Are the 6 of you ready to fulfill your civil duty?
Most gratified to have been selected to carry out this important civic duty, my lord.
Wow, you are very detailed, lady. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials are all nothing more than performances.
Any spirituous...
Oh boy. Any spirituous scholar that defiles the reputation of science deserves... Ow. That is a child.
We have to listen to what said on both sides. The fence and the, then settle on one. That's it, isn't it?
This is a child. Am I wrong to think that this is a child? Oh look, it was the sleepy man. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all. That's the police killer Automo lookalike again. And he's exhausted as ever, it seems.
Now, as I'm sure you are all aware, the incident we are all here to judge today tragically took place at the Great Exhibition, shortly after its opening.
Though the death toll could have been far worse, with the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectators. Oh, I should do this, I forgot. Luckily, as you didn't hear the insults last time. Yes, we are very lucky, aren't we?
A tragic turn of events, and as such, the eyes of all London, no, of the whole world will be on this trial. It is our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel. So, your opening statements, please. Please, Lord Van Zeeks.
At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world. The expression change, I forgot. I have to get used to it again.
One of the scientists' latest development, I take it. The government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technological advantage.
The technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis.
Good lord!
It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they are subsequently reassembled.
Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility?
Well, I don't believe it, that's for sure.
Disassembling people with electricity? My goodness, how shocking.
The whole idea is absurd. The hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny.
Sir, I believe you are a fellow of the Royal Society, are you not? An expert in your field?
I am, and my word on the matter can be considered. Final, instantaneous kinesis is poppycock. So this expert and Mistress Holmes are in agreement. It's impossible.
What is the prosecution's view on the matter?
The prosecution would assert that the accused's instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. What? What? Rot.
Order, order!
The professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it is deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant would be made available. The accused made use of the invention built on his new hypothesis to take Mr. Esmond's life. in order to become the sole benefactor of the grant. Oh, that's the logic we're going with? Okay. But this disastrous demonstration was no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim. Oh boy.
Thank you, Lord Van Zeeks. The prosecution's stance is clear. But will you now bring forth witnesses to substantiate their claims?
Ugh. Gladly, my lord. Oh, the cape is off already. We're really getting into difficulty, aren't we? Bailiff, show the first witness to the stand.
Oh boy.
Oh, hello. Witnesses, state your name and occupation for the court. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. I was on duty at the demonstration on the day in question and in charge of the following investigation.
Albert Harebrain, scientist.
You were born in England, but have been carrying out your research in Germany in recent years, correct?
Yes, that's right. After graduating from university here in Britain, I went to work in Germany and made an amazing discovery, which is what brought me back. I had to demonstrate my incredible hypothesis at the Great Exhibition.
What you demonstrated was incredible, alright, an incredible explosion.
But the science was a success. The instantaneous kinesis worked. Everyone saw it. They must have done. Yes, there was a terrible incident, but the demonstration of my hypothesis was a success.
Ugh. Well, that much is undeniable, as shown in this photograph taken by the forensic investigation team. Oh wow, the forensic investigation team finally showed up. What happened here? So he's strapped in. Did he get shot? Huh, they did justice to the old trope of eccentric scientist. Yes, they did. Doesn't this... I can't tell if this looks like an arrow shot or a bullet shot. But it's right in the heart. Huh. But yeah, he's strapped in.
This was taken inside the Crystal Tower, I take it. The centerpiece of the exhibition, no less.
That's right, my lord. Seems the victim rammed straight into it. Arrow, no hole. You think it's an arrow? It's just hard to tell because it's such a dark spot there. I'm surprised the victim of failed teleportation is in such a good state. Well, we don't... Apparently, they think that he didn't actually teleport. So the question becomes, what happened? Bullets leave holes. Back, what did I miss? You missed the fact that that picture in Van Zeek's room is actually his older brother, who was the last victim from a serial killer. Usually it's messier, for sure. Huh. But yeah, my guess, and I'm guessing somehow the wax statue was involved. Oh, that? No, I knew that one. You did know that one? I was just... That's what we learned. Also that the machine actually is theoretically and physically impossible. We saw the most pretty girl in the game. Yeah, Val has found a new crush. Esmeralda Tuso spells. I know the lore, I'm just playing along. Ah. Well, I'm assuming you know Esmeralda then.
I see. Very well, we'll submit the photograph as evidence.
Yeah. As the court heard, the victim of the incident was Mr. Odie Osmond. Well, thank you for not doing that, because golly. There have been a number of allegations made against the man, but putting them aside for the time being, he was the man who financed the research of the experiment and the demonstration itself.
I see. So to summarize the situation, the defendant is accused of taking the life of a man who funded his work. Would that be correct?
Exactly. But couldn't it be that the explosion was caused by some malfunction in the apparatus used for the demonstration?
That's right, it must be. My splendid machine. My poor splendid machine.
Huh. You saw it yesterday, didn't you? We can't even examine the wreckage thanks to the special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
What? The wreckage? The wreckage?
But that being the case, how can the facts be established? How can it possibly be determined whether this was an accident or a deliberate and malicious act?
Different from extremely, my lord. Extremely simple, my lord.
I beg your pardon?
Isn't that right, witness?
What? Sorry, me?
No, your neighbor. Yes, sir. It was murder, plain and simple. Anyone could state that with complete certainty.
What? How can he possibly think that?
Thank you, Inspector. I think we had better proceed to formal testimony. You will explain to the court on what grounds you claim this experiment to have been a front for murder.
Huh.
Witness testimony, a front for murder. The corpse that went crashing through the crystal tower had a broken neck.
I made a minor miscalculation in the angle of the beam projection, that's all. That was my mistake.
'Cause I said so. Golly. But that post-mortem examination revealed another fatal injury, a fatal wound. There was a lesson in the chest where he'd been clearly stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. So the victim was killed before he went anywhere, and this fellow's the only one who could have done it. Wait,
So the guy has a broken neck and a stab wound in the heart.
you forgot the quotes.
Wow, this man went through a lot, didn't he?
He's got a broken neck and is stabbed through the heart.
An extraordinary business.
Worst death by far.
In addition to suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart.
Information I'd really like to have heard from someone other than the judge. Coroner says death would have been all but instant from a wound like that. Okay, let's not. I don't know about that. But how would that, if you're saying that's the case, how did this frickin' man, somehow, who has apparently been beamed over to a tower, you know, someone would know? You could say, in fact, that the victim was killed twice by the accused.
No, that couldn't be further from the truth.
I have here the experiment plan document that was submitted to the security team. Okay. The victim stood himself in something called the birdcage to be beamed instantly. To the second level of the Crystal Tower, about 25 yards away. The experiment did not go according to plan, however. As the machine was put into operation, there was a large explosion. The blast caused the beam transmitter to point higher than intended. Reportedly, the kinesis resulted in the birdcage materializing in midair, from where it subsequently fell, crashing through the glass of the crystal tower. Large, round window.
My word! One of the victim's neck was broken upon impact with the tower then.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. The machine was just too powerful.
And then for him to do this like it's apparent there was no caution in play. Yeah, there was not.
But honestly, really, I swear, it was just an accident. A terrible accident.
Unfortunately, that excuse can't save you. No, not considering the sharp murder weapon that pierced the victim's heart.
Murder weapon? What are you saying?
This is the autopsy report submitted by the coroner. The prosecution would like to enter into the court record.
Your request is granted, counsel.
Autopsy report of the victim, Mr. Esmond. His neck was broken from the impact of a violent fall, and he was stabbed in the chest with a sharp object. Wow, we got our work cut out for us. Uh, 47 British, time of death, 2:20 p.m. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Additional observation, a broken vertebra, most likely resulted from impact for a sudden fall from considerable height. Like if it was an easy machine that was supposedly sent someone to another location, I would have at least tried an object first.
Yeah.
That is true. You are not wrong.
I was there in person, you know. I saw the whole ludicrous performance. And that only other person on stage with Rasmus was that disgraceful excuse for a scientist.
Then really, by all accounts, it must have been him.
Hard to think otherwise, really.
Very well, counsel for the defense. Proceed with the cross-examination, please.
Oh, yes, my lord. I need to focus here. It's been a while. There's no upsides. You're not wrong. Because this guy just is like... What did he think was gonna happen? Oh, not present. I want the other thing.
Hold it!
Are you suggesting that because he fell from a considerable height? Exactly, which highlights something else about this whole rum business. What's that? The fact that the instantaneous kinesis itself was a success. Ah. After the explosion, the cage with the fellow inside suddenly appeared out of nowhere in midair.
So although the experiment ended in disaster, the so-called instantaneous kinesis did occur.
Remind us, Professor, what was the cause of the fatal disaster? Oh boy. How is that a miscalculation, by the way? The beam went really further ahead. So the angle of the projection is critical, is it? And you calculated it yourself, personally?
Absolutely. The calculations is far too complicated for anyone but me to carry out.
Only you got it wrong, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. That's the point. The calculation is so complicated, even I can make a mistake.
Then why did you put a man in a cage that was supposed to instantaneously teleport him if you could make a mistake? And where he was aiming that thing. Yep. Well, from my understanding, the explosion happened and it moved the disc. Like, the thing on top. Do people fall for that brazen confidence? I should try it.
I took into account the object's height and weight. Subject's height and weight, the wind direction, the ambient temperature.
Yeah, why upwards? Why not down? Or, like, on the same level of the platform. Like, have a really long platform. But he still could have maybe aimed it on the ground, something a little safer. Yes, he could have.
I consider every possible variable, so I just don't understand how this could have happened.
Obviously, then you had to include the weight of the clothes Mr. Esmond was wearing at the time, I suppose.
there should have been 3.
So much for safety first. 3 must be for safety third. Oh boy.
Hold it!
Well, clearly you avoid the S for safety. Yes, yes, you did. Another fatal injury, you say? That doesn't make any sense. I didn't think I'd have to spell this out, but here we go. Just because there were 2 fatal wounds doesn't mean I'm saying the victim had 2 lives to lose, does it? Too right. Obviously, at first, we thought the bloke had died due to his neck snapping in half as well. But you're saying that's not the case? You get your answer once I finish my fish and chips if you don't keep butting in every few seconds. But we all know that's a bottomless bag. The victim plummeted 30 feet into a glass tower. It would be reasonable to assume that has the cause of death. Right, that's what we all thought, but it was a red herring, wasn't it? We're talking more, we agree with the prosecution. Yes. Yes, we do. Isn't that funny? The defense knew nothing of this critical information. The prosecution received this report from the forensic investigation team only this morning. That was the first we knew of it as well. Can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense. If that pretty will show up later in this trial. She probably will. She's probably got a connection somehow. Sarcastic and insincere? Thanks. So, what was the nature of this sharp object? Among the accused tools that were in use at the demonstration, one is of particular interest. Yes, I told you, he fell in love with Esmeralda. This.
Oh yes, that would appear to be some kind of screwdriver, wouldn't it, Counsel?
There he is. My trusty little companion, Andrew. Is that why it starts with an A?
Andrew, of course.
Do you know each other already? He's one of my best dear friends, like all my tools.
Van Zeeks is friends with this man. No, I think the weapon was already named before the crime happened. Remind you, everybody, this is Van Zeek's college friend.
Oh boy. I've named them all, you know. We're one big happy family.
Oh, hello. You have awoken from your sleep.
Andrew is my flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother Michael is a crosshead.
Well,
it would appear that your beloved Andrew has a red stain on his...
Shank? So maybe don't mention that on trial? Yeah. You agree? That isn't... It's blood, beyond all reasonable doubt.
How did that get in the guy's chest, though? Because it was on the platform.
No. And that's not all. That long, sharp shape of this Andrew fellow is completely consistent with the victim's wound.
What?
So you're going to tell me that this scientist somehow in front of everybody stabbed the man? With this screwdriver? And nobody noticed? And the guy didn't make a sound? That's very far-fetched.
Order, order! The court will enter this friend of the defendant as evidence.
He got a screw loose. Yes, he does. So one of Professor Harebrain's tools is the murder weapon? Great. The screwdriver. He looks like he barely lifted weight, let alone that's the funny part, ain't it? Somehow we're supposed to believe that this man stabbed the stabbed him. This is such a weird shape. This is blood, Mr. Asmon's no doubt. This is the problem with looking at a murder weapon. Well, this is the problem looking at murder weapons. I've seen this unusual shape handle before. It's the same screwdriver that was lodged in the grill on the floor of the kinesis machine, which could be important information, so I should definitely make a note of it. Yeah, it was on the platform. If you told me he couldn't even pick it up. Alright, I'm gonna save again because I want to make sure that I don't have to deal with a bunch of crap. Anyway.
Hold it!
What grounds do you have for saying that? Huh, do you really need to ask? Was it the same one? It is. It's the same one that was on the floor. That we saw that Gregson picked up. Well, that we found and then Gregson took it away. There were only 2 people on that public experimentation stage in front of the whole crowd. The victim, Mr. Audie Osmond, and the accused, Professor Harebrained. We know for certain that before the experiment, the victim was alive.
That's right, I saw it with my own
eyes. I'm gonna... Furthermore, following the explosion in kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body. In other words, only someone else on stage with the victim could possibly have done it. Yes, we have all new jurors. Can you believe it?
Excuse me.
Professor Harebrained, do you have some information that may be relevant here? Professor. Ah, sorry. I was just calculating the optimum coefficient of electrolysis to separate molecules in the human body. And the witness stand is the best place for that? It seems as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark. Huh. Yes, that's right. Of course. He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Who else could have stabbed the victim, eh? I don't know, but there's no way that I could have possibly stabbed Mr. Asmond as you say. Eh? Kind of the same thing as a scientist? Okay. Please explain, Professor. Of course. This cold-hearted policeman might not be aware, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded mammals, with blood running continuously through their veins. Yes, he does look like he belongs to Pokemon. I had heard. Then you see, if I plunged something the size of Andrew into the man's chest, the whole stage would have been a bloodbath. No, a blood swimming pool. Ah. But thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. And yet not one of them claims to have seen a swimming pool of blood. Well, no, I suppose not. Yeah, wouldn't him being stabbed with a screwdriver, like, splash blood? Like, crazy? You see? Not one! True. I didn't see anything like that. Well done, Professor. That was a great counter-argument. It would have covered the weapon. And it's not. It's just the tip of the screwdriver.
Order!
Alright, I'm gonna do the last thing for this, and then I gotta stop. 'Cause my voice is dying. Yeah, his white coat doesn't have a single blood splatter. Yeah, at all. He looks... Yes, I was gonna say the same... He does look like the guy from Pokemon. Pray forgive the discourtesy if I savor a drop of my hollow chalice to accompany my old friends... Adducing? Clement, yes. Here's to you, Albert. Oh, you're too kind, Brooke. But I'm really not Patch-Up, you. Oh, there it goes. No, you're not. No? You neglected to mention one critical possibility.
Have?
A particular situation in which very little bleeding would result from a stab wound. Oh, of course. Inspector, enlighten the court, please. Yes, sir. Well, good morning to your cat. Where are they going with this? Very well, you will amend your formal testimony now, Inspector Gregson. The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in his body whilst he was beaming through the air. Well, it's because, Van Zeeks is very angry all the time. Like, I can make angry, surprised, angry, sad, super happy. Default. Stare into the void. I'm doing good. I'm gonna be ending soon. Because it's late and I have an early long day tomorrow. Yeah, I have a lot of expressions. I like stare into the void. You do? Well, it's just that type of look. Alright, let's present. Go! Fun fact, my mom don't have a smile. Huh. Yeah, it just depends on what people present, so half of the expressions is gone. Alright. That surprise run gets the cake for me. What, this? You say that while you say that while the weapon remains in the body, there's very little bleeding. Is that unequivocal? Look, there's no blood on the experimental stage, even though that's where the fellow was stabbed. The only explanation for that is if the screwdriver was still in the body, stopping any heavy bleeding. It's common medical knowledge, my learned friend, even on your side of the world. Excuse you. I complimented you earlier, Van Zeeks. Put that ridiculous prejudice down. Yes, but what about this screwdriver? Yes, you were earlier than yesterday, though. Hey, it's not an issue. You gotta do what you gotta do in life, man. Oh, I'm doing good. The thing is, we actually saw it at the scene ourselves, on the experimentation stage. What? What? There we go. It was on the floor by the wreckage of the machine, poking through a metal grill. I went to pick it up, but the detective here stopped me. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Now you come to mention it, yes. Yes, it happens some peak. It just depends on the stream and what I'm doing. I've lost some time recently. It's fine. I know I see the watch count. It's fine. Inspector, are we to understand that you permit the defense counsel to investigate? We get way more fear now. Trevor String reached 30. Yes, it did. Means she's fun to have on the background. Well, thank you. That you have contravened the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. No, not at all. I wouldn't do that. I just let him look, nothing more. It was very clear he wasn't to touch a thing. Oh, my gaming skills? Wow. And apparently, you need to sleep with one eye open, so your sleeping skills need to be wide open, so your nephew doesn't spray you with cold water. Yes, that's true. The screwdriver wasn't in plain sight on the stage. But it shouldn't have been, should it? What are you getting at? If this tool had been still in the victim's body when the victim was beamed away by the machine. Not every character. I just change it for Van Zeke specifically. Then I heard other versus someone. Yeah, maybe you should play somewhere that's biased. It's for immersion. Well, thank you. Then it shouldn't have still been on the stage. Ugh. That's right. It should have been beamed across to the Crystal Tower along with Mr. Asman. And been found still lodged in the victim's chest. Ugh. Whoa! Well, you can attempt. You just have to know which buttons to push. Like,
Order! Order! How do you explain this, Inspector?
I don't... It looks as though everything that the victim had on his person moved with him when he was beamed. If the screwdriver was still in his chest when the instantaneous kinesis occurred. Obviously, that should have been beamed to the destination as well. You. Overreacting as always, Ace Attorney. Yep, they do. This is a strange situation. Even though people are saying that this instantaneous kinesis is a scientific impossibility. Wow, you work fast. What the frick? We're still basing arguments on the assumption that it did actually take place. Natural. Don't push it. Alright, time to tighten the screws here. My lord, if the prosecution is unable to explain this inconsistency in his argument, we can only conclude that the testimony given in support cannot be relied upon. Yes, it is. I think there's a reason why, because we're not alike. Lord Van Zeeks is stumped. Oh no. He's trying to make a mod. Alright, I'm gonna stop there because apparently the stupid scientist is like that. That stare was funny. Yes, it is. Alright. Kill Mita for everyone next time. Oh boy. Why is everyone so excited about this freaking thing? Well, yeah, I'd like to play that. What, the mod that just has me popping out of the freaking PC? Golly. Alright, tomorrow is Persona. See what he did, golly. That would look interesting, to be honest. I guess. But yeah, tomorrow is Persona 5, so we'll see where we go from there. Well, I know where we're going. We're dealing with, Futaba's dungeon, so we'll deal with that. Or Palace Airdrops are fine. Oh. Yeah, wait, this is how much power Programmer has. Oh, boy. Alright, thank you guys for watching the stream, and I will see you guys. Can I get a stare into the void? That good? That enough staring into the void? Alright. Alright. Bye!